I'm counting my blessings. I've still got a job, so it's all good.
Oh man, it's old man these days. I'm chilling up. Yo.
I don't know how you're freezing with that beard and that beanie going on.
Well, hey, I'm in the top level of my penthouse suite. Not even. I'm just in my little room with my green screen on. But no, so anyway, for those that don't know you, and I know a lot of people do, and for the sake of the start of the podcast, so everybody knows, who are you, Kaylee?
Oh, geez. Okay. Well, Kaylee in itself, teenage pop star, 4 top 10 hits, Broken Wings, Can You Feel Me, 1+1, A Lifetime Left to Wait, top 10 album, started when I was about 14, 15 from West Auckland, born in Rotorua though, so, and then, just caught a whiff of radio and decided I quite enjoyed that. So, dabble in radio and TV now,
Yo.
and mother of 4.
And super mother of 4, you should add. That's how
Oh,
it is.
man, it's a tough gig, that one.
What? Oh man, I know exactly how you feel. So born in Rotorua, correct?
Yes.
So how long were you in Rotorua for?
Oh, a couple of years in and out. My father was in the army, so was my mum. So we moved around a bit. So yeah, Wairau, Singapore, Palmerston North, Wellington, and last posting was in Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland.
Singapore. Wow, that's interesting. How long were you in Singapore for?
Good 3-4 years.
Wow.
Yeah, my sister was born there. Yeah, so yeah,
okay.
Bit of an army brat.
And then you said Palmerston North and Wellington, right?
Yeah, Treatham. And
Brown Owl?
Yeah, I went to Brown Owl Primary.
Shout outs to Brown Owl. Boom. Shout outs to Brown Owl. Let's have a look.
Oh my gosh.
There we go. There's little Kaylee. She's just sitting in there with the red and the white. Man, look at this.
Oh man. God, I missed that. That's my real blonde hair. I don't get these days to look at that good.
Oh man, straight off the bat, we go straight in there, Kaylee. Look at this little gem.
You dug that up.
Oh, I know. I found this.
I was the best student ever.
You look like the best student.
I was. Mr. Shoe loved me.
Oh, Mr. Shoe.
Yeah, but before I actually went to Brown Owl Primary, I went to Māori Bank, and Māori Bank isn't around anymore. But I remember that year. That year at primary, we had pet day. And I wasn't allowed to bring my ex-army dog, ex-police dog to school. So I had to take a big, massive yogurt container of snails that were from underneath our stairs.
Oh, gee. Too much, all right.
I love how you've dug that up.
I know, that's Miss Curtis, by the way.
Oh, man.
She seems pretty hard, eh? She seems like a hard woman, old Miss Curtis.
She wasn't my teacher for very long.
Oh, there we go. Just came in for the photo days. And then straight out there. Sheesh. Oh man, I just thought...
you hit it off with it. You was out the park with that one.
I had to. This is what breaks the ice, and then we're good. We're good to go now.
I had big ass adult teeth chompers then. It was like...
Oh, really? Did you have the Bugs Bunnies going on? Sheesh.
Yeah.
At the old man. Far out. Hey, how many times a day did people ask you, or not a day, I would say, because my first inclination when I first got on was gonna ask, "Can you feel me?" Okay, I was. It's on the tip of my tongue. I don't want to do it because I'll come off like a fanboy.
I can feel you.
There we go. That's all that matters. Just as long as you can feel me, Kaylee, we're good.
I get it text on the text line at work, or I get a DM or on the IG at least once a day.
At least, oh man,
it's all good.
And then you came up to Tamaki Makaurau, and then was it intermediate here, or did you go high school?
Intermediate, and I went to first year Richmond Road Primary.
Oh, yo, man, Richmond. I've had that's Shay Fu used to go to Richmond Road.
Yeah. We were friends with his sister.
Oh, yo, look at that. Sheesh.
Yeah. But I went there for a year.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And then did you go to somewhere else?
An intermediate.
Okay. Did you go to Eggs before you went to Waitakere?
Yes, I did.
I heard about this.
Yeah, 3 kahurangi. We were the first, they call it now year 9, third form kahurangi. Yeah.
And then it was the singing voice, right? That's what I heard. I heard that everybody was all jealous. Everyone was like, "Yeah, this girl can sing now."
Not
this year
even.
9 can sing. Let's be sad. Oh,
No,
no.
I didn't find any of my solo singing stardom there. I just did a lot of kapahaka, and I loved singing kapahaka, and that's how I actually learned to harmonize and to listen to music and just to hear the different tones and voices, and that and singing along to a lot of Mariah Carey tapes and songs recorded on my tape cassette.
Oh, man,
But
that
I
was good.
didn't I didn't actually sing solo when I was at Eggs at
Okay.
all.
But just in the
Yeah.
kapahaka, you would sing in the
Yeah.
kapahaka?
Yep. And just with my girlfriends at school, which we're still mates all to this day. And, sometimes they go, oh, shut up, Kay. Just don't harmonize everything.
Oh, you're one of those ones. You one of those just jump in out of nowhere ones.
Yeah. I
Oh,
was one of those bots ones.
one of those ones outside the tuck shop, eh? Singing,
uh,
just doing that. Hey, I'll sing you a little waiata for a couple of 20 cents, and then we
well, we managed to make a few coins while we were waiting for our bus on K Road.
oh,
Yeah.
did you ever you get down for busking back in the day before you
A
snapped
little
back
bit. I was mainly playing a lot of sports.
Oh yeah, what did you like
Yeah.
touch? Oh, you in athletics, right? You used to do athletics. I heard.
Yep.
Yep.
I used to do athletics as well. Yep. And a lot of netball and touch. Bit of rugby. Yeah.
And that's kind of like it's really interesting because I mean you did the boxing, you did was it triathlons or Iron Woman, Iron Man,
Iron Māori.
Iron
Yep.
Māori. That's what it is. Sorry. And then like even Dancing with the Stars, this is very physically enduring kind of things.
Yeah, I like the challenge. I like the challenge, and I'm a person that sets myself a goal and tries to, achieve it. Otherwise, life just gets boring.
What was like going towards and this will kind of segue into the next thing. Like Waitakere College was where you kind of went all the way through from year 10, just an hour thing,
Yeah. Fourth form. Yeah.
Fourth form, and then all the way through, and then like, man, you just had like success while you were there. That would have been really like, how was that being a student at school, but then getting some getting mad, like being on TV and things.
Honest truth, I didn't realize and I didn't see what everybody else saw. And as a teenager, and most teenagers at that time are still trying to find themselves. I'm kind of just like, are you guys all shit? Are you guys just talking? Just blowing things up. I was quite the shy girl and never really got up on stage and did solos and stuff until it was my music teacher who was like, oh, no, you're not going to sit in the back and laugh at everyone auditioning. You're going to get up and audition. And I was like, oh, I really wasn't paying attention. I was just laughing. Oh, okay, well, sing me something. Oh, what am I going to sing? He goes, well, what songs do you like? And I said, Always Be My Baby, Mariah Carey. And he goes, right. He goes, I don't know how to play that on the piano, but you can sing it to me. And I was like, oh. And he goes, don't look at everybody else. Turn around and just look at me. So I sung it to him. And I remember we went through like 103 girls and I got the lead role in the school play. And I had never acted or never sung solo before, never even talked, other than, Māori speeches or arguing or debating with the teacher just to get out of class. But it was that. I think that was the start. And as I went on that journey, it was more like, oh, okay, I actually really enjoy this. This is actually quite fun. Not realizing I was any good at it. And I don't think I realized I was quite good at it until maybe even after the album came out.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Because
hold up. That's I don't know. Like I don't know about that. Because not everybody just does an album and just goes, you know what, I'm not really good at singing. I might be good at something, but like, is that so? You're telling me you didn't even know you were good at singing until after the album?
I don't think I believed I was any good until after the album came out, and then I actually really got to listen, and people that I looked up to, had said to me, you can actually really sing. And it wasn't until I went to America and I was singing over there and I was touring, and myself and Adija were at the Universal City Walk, and I just had a lot of people there who I didn't know, and Americans, and they were just like, damn, little girl, you can blow, like you can sing. And I was like, really? Oh, thank you so much. Like, and they're like, you sing, you don't hear your accent, nothing. And so that really gave me confidence. And then I went to the Congo Room, which was a club that Jamie Foxx and that part owned at the time. And I got up and I did a little jam there. And he was like, damn girl. He's like, y'all can sing. And I was like, oh, okay, yes. And so that made me think, oh, actually, maybe this is like, maybe I could actually do this. Like, I really started believing in myself after that.
Yeah.
Because I think for so long, I was always hearing, oh, you're plastic fantastic. You're just made in the studio. You can't actually sing. You can't do this. But those who had been around me in Kapahaka and who had sung with me and really, they're the ones who kept me going. But, I think as a young teenager growing up, that's the kind of stuff you started hearing. So you're thinking, is it just in the studio? Is it just on record? So, yeah, it would put a few doubts in your mind as a teenager.
You reckon that's a New Zealand thing?
Yeah, totally. We squash everyone down. And you doesn't even have to be singing. It could be sports. It could be you're an amazing poet. It could be that you just talk yourself up and you're just really confident. Yeah, there is a fine line between confidence and arrogance.
Yeah.
But, it's a terrible thing that we have in New Zealand. It's tall poppy syndrome and then some.
It's really bad, eh? Like, and even really kind of like covert type of like shit, like that puts people down. Like I even me, like I'm like sometimes I get caught off, and I'm like, that was dumb what you said. Like you shouldn't say that kind of shit because of the exact same reason.
Yeah, and it's so bad because we see our kids now, my children, and I'm amazed every day how much confidence they have to go, oh, that's all good, mum, just post it, like do this TikTok dance. And I remember myself back in that age, and I'm like, I wouldn't be caught dead doing that.
Yeah. That's true,
And
though.
and I love it. I love the amount of confidence that some of our tamariki have now. And if anything, from the journey that I've had growing up as being that teenage pop star and going through all of that, it's to encourage all the knowledge that I've learned from that and to encourage and empower our kids to be that, just to dream and just go for it. What's the worst that someone can say? No? Another door would open, just go for it. Yeah.
Because back in high school, because at that time, you feel so like whakama about it. Like, oh man, shame. Like I don't want to be like, but that must have been crazy for you because you were a bit like, yeah, am I really that good at this stuff? But then you turn on the TV, you got all these #1 records, and it's and then you're like, holy shit, like that's crazy. Like, it's weird to me. I'm like, man, if I was in your shoes, I'd be like, yo, I'm the shit, man. Sign me up. Get me a limousine. I'm going to fucking town, B. That would be me. Like, I'm not even joking. But look at you, that all happened, and you're just like, oh, I don't know.
I think the other thing was my dad would always say, be grounded, be humble. And, you think, oh, what is being grounded? What is being humble? And you just think automatically, don't get a fat head. Don't talk yourself up. There's always someone who's out there that's going to be better than you. And that was always something that I also went in playing sports as well. So if I wanted to be the best on court, if I wanted to be the best on the field, I had to train that extra hard. I had to run that extra hard. If I wanted to be in that top 10 or that final race in my 400 or whatever, I had to run and train every day. And it was always in the back of my head that it could be taken away from me just like that,
Yeah.
So that mentality has always been in there. But I think the other thing is just sometimes just having faith in yourself. And that's as I got older, that was like, well, you know what? If I've been able to do this, I could do this. And a little bit of that came in when I went into radio because I've never been to radio school.
Yeah, that would have. We'll get onto that soon. So like top 10 album, four top 10 singles. was there anything that you learnt from the New Zealand media when that was all happening that you can look back now and you go, man, that was pretty shit what they did, or that was cool. Like, could you think back to a time that something happened that you were just like, man, what the hell? Like, I would never treat another 19, 20-year-old kid like that. Or was everyone pretty respectful?
I don't. Oh, I really. I don't think I remember any time where they were really horrible. Yeah, there were some really dumb lies and rumors made up. I just remember when I was nominated for a tui and was at St. James, and I got up on stage and I sung acoustic. I remember being so nervous because this was the first time that I was ever going to sing in front of my peers and in front of the media, in front of all the people who I had heard that were going, oh, she's just plastic fantastic. They're just, using a child to, break into the industry. And all I wanted to do was sing. That's all I wanted to do. And I remember when I started singing, the whole room, the whole St. James Theatre just went dead quiet. And you could hear my breath. You could hear, I felt like you could hear my heart just jump out of my chest. And I remember just sitting there and singing, and I couldn't look at the crowd. I couldn't look at anybody sitting in the seats, but they were all dead. And I remember at the end, this big, massive roar and applause, and my heart just about to fall out of my mouth because I wanted to throw up. I was that nervous singing the whole entire time. And all the people in the back were just like, wow, wow. And I was almost like, it was just such a numb feeling. And I was just like, did I do that? Did that happen? Did that really just happen right then? And that was my big to the industry.
Yeah,
like, see all the stuff that you could say. But it doesn't stop them, and they're gonna say things. People are gonna say things. Anyone's gonna say things. I'm just grateful that we didn't have social media back then, because I'm pretty sure there would have been a lot more worse things that they could have said.
Oh man, like, that's cool. What a cool story. I mean, like, at that time, how old were you when, if you don't mind me asking, when that happened? I've been like 20?
16.
Fucking 16? Do you know what I was doing at 16?
Oh, please don't tell me.
No, I'm going to tell you right now. I was making up lies, Kaylee. I told all my friends that I went to JJ's to ask you out one time, Kaylee. And they were like, for real? And I'm like, yeah, man, she works at JJ's, B. You used to work at JJ's, correct?
Yes, West City.
West City, baby. I told all my boys. I told them all. I said, yo, I'm going over to, I went over there in the weekend, asked her out, and she was like, nah. And I was like, all goods. I never did that, Kaylee. I'm just letting you know that. I even told people, even today, I told people I'm going to bring this story up, but I thought, you know what? That was a lie I told when I was 16 years old. And I'm not bringing this up again.
Oh, look, I commend you. You have balls to say that.
We're 20 years out here. I got nothing to gain or lose here.
Right?
Oh shit.
Oh,
but anyway, so like there must have been quite a lot of for a 16-year-old to have so much on her shoulders and have so many people just kind of like that kind of shit. Like, oh, she's been built in a studio and all that kind of bullshit. Well, that would have been cool just to stick that middle finger up. Yeah, eat this. And then, oh, man, that's cool. Because at that time, that's when Broken Wings came out. Was that your first single? Or was it one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Broken Wings. Yeah, and I remember my first ever massive concert was opening up for Shaggy.
Oh. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And how was that?
Yeah. It was awesome until his manager at the time was hounding me to come and catch a plane and go hang out with them. I was like, you do know I'm 16, right?
Oh man, let's not get Shaggy in trouble, okay?
It was his manager.
Okay. Got a documentary coming out. Oh man.
Like my dad said, a lot of sick puppies out there.
Man, look at that documentary on. I don't even like saying his name anymore. But
you don't need to say his name.
You got me. Look at that, man. I watched that shit and I was like disgusted, man. That was the worst shit I've ever. And I used to sing that dude's songs all the time. Never do anymore.
Yeah. No, we're not allowed to play his music either.
And fair enough. I remember when Phil got on the radio when that first happened, and Phil got on there, and he was just straight up real with it, man. He's like, "We're never playing this here. Like, don't ask me." And then he got on Twitter and said the same thing. I was like, "My man."
Yep. And to this day, we still don't.
What about Michael Jackson? What do you reckon about playing his songs on? I know, this is a touchy subject, and Mike is, musically he's the man. But what's your take on that?
Oh, look, he's my son's favorite musician, and it's so difficult for me. I love his music. I grew up listening to Off the Wall and playing that vinyl and scratching it, as my mother would hate. But yeah, I guess it's one of those things. Some people like it, some people don't. Most people and most of our listeners, they love Michael Jackson. We don't play as much as probably we would like to, but just enough, I think, to suffice those Michael Jackson lovers out there. He was never convicted or anything like that, so I guess rest in peace. Yeah, it is a real hard one. But then everyone still loves Elvis Presley, and look how old Lisa Marie Presley was when they got married. We still play Marvin Gaye.
Hey, straight up, I'm going to ask you this, and I don't mean to ask you this, Kaylee, to get you in trouble. Okay, you can either tell me to shut up. Okay, let's see. Do you reckon, you got a lot of shit when you're 16 years old, or not a lot of shit, but a lot of things were said. If you were not of the Maori heritage, and of the Caucasian persuasion, do you think that it would have been a little bit different?
Actually, I never got recognized as a Maori artist.
Wow.
I never got nominated for a Māori award. It wasn't until after the album came out and after the fourth single came out that I got asked to be on a Māori calendar and got asked to sing with Whirimako Black, and me and Awanui went to Palmerston North and we toured and we did a few things there. But I never, and to this day, I haven't been recognised as a Māori singer.
Wow. That's crazy. Wow. Do you think, this is opening up another can of worms, I suppose. You think, I don't know, man, like it's nobody asked. That's the thing, right?
No one asked. And I think because they see my dad, and my dad's Scottish army, pretty rough. And they see me and Paka and quite light hair at the time, and I don't think anyone ever saw my mum, who is like hella brown and curly black hair and stuff, who actually can sing, and that's where I got my voice from. But no one asked.
Yeah, no.
And no,
it's crazy.
I would always tell everyone. I would always say, he waikato me ngā takahangi tōku iwi,
And then they still would go, oh yeah, all good. Oh, okay, and then just move. That's I am Maori, and but the skin is not, but the manawa is, and yeah, I get it all the time, man. I get the. Oh, and I even talked about it with a couple of other people, like Spell on here, and he was his analogy was like, it's kind of like being a Trojan horse. you get into places, and then when they figure out that you're a Maori, they'll and they only wait for you to talk, and then they'll go, oh shit, I think he might be a Maori, and then and then they move on, like, and then they stop talking about some crazy shit.
I think they may have noticed that I was Maori when we put out those ain't my skanky bras, those ain't my panties, and that ain't my skanky bra. Yeah, so but no, I mean, at the end of the day, it's my journey, and I'm actually supposed to be doing koropo tonight as well. Yeah, so I study, do night classes and that for Te Reo Māori, and it's still a journey that I'm on with my own iwi and my own whenua and stuff. So yeah, it bothers me a little bit. Yeah, I'd be lying if it didn't, but I think my journey now is so much more important.
Yeah, it's an introspect to you. It's not.
Yeah.
It's nobody else's hikoi than yours. And
Yeah.
yeah, and I mean, I need to get on my buzz too. I need to get onto my own education too when it comes to Te Reo Māori. And yeah, it's something that I think more of us need to kind of invest in. And kids,
Yeah.
man, awesome, good stuff,
Yeah.
Kaylee.
Sick. Mainga.
Yeah. And I mean, like, and because let's get back onto the music buzz. So, when was the decision made to go over to LA?
So, oh, where do we start with that? So, went on the Coolio tour, met the DJ. At the end of the tour, we started dating. It was at the end of the tour we started dating, and he ended up leaving. I think he went to Poland or something like that. I can't remember. And coming back, stayed for a little bit, and it was in amongst that time when I got dropped from the label and things like that, where everything was just kind of iffy up in the air, and I got really depressed and I went into a really dark space. And at that point, I think I pretty much didn't leave the house for like a good 6 months and just spent my time eating Tim Tams.
Nothing wrong with Tim Tam.
No, hey, look, it saved me. It saved me for a bit.
Hey,
And it was after that I was like, okay, I want to do radio. I just want to I want to give it a shot. You know, I had done a few interviews with Mike Puru and everything, and I was like, look, I need to get my butt out of the seat. I need to get out of this rut, kick my own butt, and just get up and get out of this whole depression feeling. Can't eat my feelings.
yeah.
So I went and played touch and hit up James Daniels and got a job at Flavor. And probably about 3 years after that, or 3 years, you know, he was like, oh, look, there's a gig coming up over in America, you know, do you want to go? So we took a couple of trips there, and I did some recording there. I did a few, you know, tours and just some shows over there. Quite enjoyed it. And I was just like, man, if I'm going to make a go of it, you know, where's the ultimate place that you want to make a go of it? And that's America. That's where you want to make the money. That's where you want to, you know, make the music, get to know people and do it there. Didn't have a manager, didn't have any hookups, and we were just like, let's just go and let's just see if we can just grind it out. So yeah, it was probably about maybe 2.5, 3 years after working in Flavor that we were just like, okay, let's just do it. Let's just make it go while I still can.
Oh, and what was so you just went straight over there and just started going at it in terms of
Yeah.
Oh.
It was an interesting ride, if I may say so. I think I got to see the grimy ghetto underbelly, the underworld of the music industry.
I've heard.
Yeah.
I've heard it's pretty bad.
It's only bad if you let it get that bad.
Okay.
It got bad, but yeah, not as bad as some people have. Yeah, not as bad as it could have. Yeah, that's a great way of putting it.
Yeah, because man, when you think about it, you hear the stories, and us being at Aotearoa, we just like, this is life. But then when you go over there and you see what their life is, you're like, what the hell? like what? I thought this was only on the TV. Like shit.
Oh yeah. It all. Yeah. If I could write a movie, yeah, my movie would be pretty awesome.
Let's do it. Let's do this. Let's make the Kaylee movie. Straight out of JJ's. What's going to be called? Straight out of YTech. Crazy motherfucker named Kaylee.
Oh man, yeah, that is one crazy story.
Tell us that crazy story about when they started, when you're on the mattress man and they shot at your house. I shouldn't do the because you know. But is this a true story that you were in a drive-by or like at your house?
So we lived in Long Beach, and there was some people that were moving in. Oh, now his name has just lost me. He was a part of a gang, and I know Long Beach, Kelly, was ran by some other place, some other people. And yeah, we were moving out, and they had shot up the house. And so, yeah.
Where were you?
No, we were supposed to be in the bedroom.
Oh,
and the bed was supposed to be up high and stuff. So yeah, we had moved majority of our stuff out that day, and he was moving in. And I remember because my partner at the time was like, "Nah, we're out of here." I think the I can't remember the name.
rolling eights. Is it rolling sixes or rolling eights or something like that?
I
don't
can't
know. Who
remember.
cares?
I can't remember. No, I can't remember. I know it was Crips, and I know like we had there was some Crips, some Bloods down the street and everything, and I know that this guy was from a whole different gang, and they didn't appreciate him moving in. It was all there was like we had a big recording studio out in the back as well, and a few of the crew from DPG used to come there and record and stuff like that, and that used to blow my mind because you hear Daz and stuff like that. It's just it used to blow my mind. One of the guys who actually DJs for Daz and produces a lot of his stuff, he lived with us, and he's from Japan.
Wow.
And he was a really good friend of my partner at the time. So yeah.
Wow. And then man, that would have been crazy, man. Like just all of a sudden just fucking hearing that shit and then wowzers,
Well, it's not the first time I've heard it.
Okay, but it was around you though. You know what I mean?
It was not the first time it's been around me either.
I think this is the most. This has to be you're the most gangster guest we've ever had on, Kaylee.
Well, I've toured with the army and stuff, and I went to East Timor, and
that's a bit different.
you're rolling in a tank where people are getting blown up and stuff, and you see left, right, and centre. There's these New Zealand soldiers, and they're strapped, and you get to shoot off a couple of guns. You get to. I feel really bad. I ran over and killed a tree. Didn't deserve it.
Come on, Kelly.
I don't know how I got my license. I don't even know how to drive a tank.
I've heard that you're not that good of a driver either. Somebody else told me that.
I'm the best driver.
Nah, somebody told me.
I've never had a crash. Oh no, I've never crashed into anyone.
Anytime you stop mid-sentence and go, you're not a good driver. Wait a minute, because
I've never crashed into anyone.
In your head, it's rewinding. Wait a minute, that's the time I ran into the wall. And wait a minute. Oh shit!
I may or may not have caused the crash, but the guy did a runner, and I was like, "Nah, it wasn't my fault."
May or any sentence that starts with may or may not is actually you probably did. No.
No.
Choice. So and then you were just it just got too crazy over in LA, and you're just like, shit, I just need to get back. I need to bring my kids back home, and that's how it worked. Or was there something else?
I got kidnapped and held at gunpoint.
Oh, come on, Dan. Come on. All right. Okay, Kelly. How the fuck did you get kidnapped? Let's go there.
I was walking in Debs Park in Almonte, and me and my girlfriend, we were walking. She just had a baby, and I was around about 4 months pregnant with my daughter. And we were like, let's go over here. And I didn't know I was pregnant at the time. I was just like, let's go look for some cool spots to do a photo shoot. And we walked down one side of the park, and there just happened to be this guy there. He was just tagging on a table, and I kind of got a feeling, she got a feeling, and we were like, yeah, should we go? We're like, yeah, let's go get a coffee. And we turned around, and I just had this really cold shiver come over me, and then I felt this cold steel just in the back of my neck, and it was a 44 revolver. He stuck it in my back, and pretty much took us down a bank. And I was looking for any and every way to just try and get out of the situation. Unfortunate for me, because I was looking for glass bottles for any rubbish and stuff, so I could stab him with it or something like that. I was with it. I was down to do anything to save my life.
You're from West Auckland, Kelly. That's how we survive out here on these streets.
Yeah, you know. And unfortunate for me, they had just done a big, massive damn park cleanup, so it was clean. Apart from the rubbish bag, the plastic bag that was sitting there, and managed to get away. He made us tie our shoelaces up and things, and told us what he wanted to do to us. And she couldn't run because she had just had gallstones out, so she had fresh stitches. And I didn't want to leave her. She was much smaller than me, and I was like, nah, I can't do it. I can't leave you. And she was like, you've got to go. And so he starts telling us what he wants to do to us. She starts hyperventilating, and he's like, what's wrong with her? What's wrong? And he's like pointing the gun at me. And I remember my dad always saying, never take your eyes off them. Never, ever turn your back on them. Never. Always keep your senses out for you. And yeah, so I just kept real calm the whole time. I was so angry. I couldn't cry. I couldn't, you know, like, I was just so angry. And I was just like, man, I can't believe this guy's going to do this. Like, I'm going to bite him. I'm going to do whatever it takes. He's not going to touch me. And he started freaking out. And I'm like, look, you don't want to be a rapist and a murderer. You know, come on, just chill. And he's like, what's wrong? And she goes, I'm sick. And he's like, what do you mean you're sick? And I just, first thing I thought about was either chlamydia or HIV. And you can get rid of chlamydia. So I told him we were HIV positive.
Yo, that's smart. That's quick, man. That's that Eminem 8 Mile quickness right there.
And he was like, whatever. He's like, what do you mean you're HIV positive? And I said, oh, we're each other's support systems. That's why we're walking with each other.
Oh.
We make sure that we take our medication on time. I was like, we got it getting tattoos. I didn't have any tattoos. So I thank God that he didn't ask me where my tattoo was.
Yo.
Yeah. And she started going even more. And yeah, just little things that happened that, you know, his handprint, his fingerprints on the plastic bag that I got and picked up off the ground, you know, little things like that. And ended up being that he let me go back to the car to get the medication. It was so horrible. Like, I'm trying to tell people, you know, dámelo la policía, el teléfono, you know, please, por favor, you know, give me the telephone so I can call the cops. People locked their doors, wound up their windows. They drove off away from me. Yeah, and it was horrible. And it was this one old Mexican man, and he gave me his phone, and I called the police, and the park ranger happened to come down at the same time, and they have sirens that sound almost identical to the cops. And he just went straight over there with the phone and the microphone and stuff. And yeah, he took off, and he was in a standoff with the police for like a good 12 hours. They got him, they arrested him, and it was, I say a couple of things, you know. I'm glad it happened to me and not the 14 and 12-year-old girls that were walking behind us.
Oh.
And then, you know, I'm glad that I had sense to do what I did and for us to be safe and stuff, because we ended up going to court and testifying against him, because a week before he did actually rape a girl and beat her, and she was so scared to go to the police that they couldn't. Yeah. So, and he went to jail. Yeah. He was peeking and stuff like that. He was on drugs and stuff as well. So, yeah. Apart from that, a really horrible relationship. And it, you know, I was living up in Watts Towers, you know, right where Grape Street was. Yeah, you know, it's not every day you go for a walk with your kids and see a dead body.
Fuck.
And
damn,
then you see,
Kaylee, look at you. You're like, man, you got some stories to tell, yo.
Wow, you know, I did a few tracks with Grape Street.
Man, shit.
There's some cool peoples. There's some good peoples. There's some
you would have been protected, though. You would have been safe. You know what I mean?
You know, I felt safe. I did. I felt safe. But in saying that, though, you know,
they would have looked after for you. You know,
they were good people. They were really good people. But yeah, you go for a walk, you see a dead body, and then they're cleaning it up just as fast because Macy Gray's coming to shoot a video in the middle of Watts Towers.
Oh, that's right. That's the first one. I remember that at Watts Towers. That was their first single.
Yeah, wow. I lived right across the road from there.
Man, wow, that's crazy. Yo, like, have you got it? Because I mean, man, I'm stunned. I'm like, damn, this interview turned into some CSI shit right here. Man, so like, so when you were over in the States, were you just South Central LA? And like, because you said that you did some stuff at City Walk, right? And Universal. Was that during that time, or was that before?
No, it was during that time. Okay. Sorry, before. And then after as well. I did a couple of stints there. Yep. Before it shut down. We did the last show there before it closed down.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But I was, so we first moved over in Compton, then Long Beach, and then we were in Linwood, Southgate, Pasadena, Old Town Pasadena, out those ways, and was in Watts.
How long in total did you live over the States?
About 5-6 years.
Wow, man,
Yeah.
all that happened in 5-6 years. That's
Yeah.
That's crazy. Did you ever feel that you were making like, you're making progress in terms of like completing your vision or your dream? You wanted to be a like a respected songwriter and singer. Did you ever find like you're making some progress? And then, what was your perspective on that?
Well, every time you got that little bit closer, or every time I got that little bit closer, someone would always come out and be like, yo, give me some ass and, I'll give you a beat.
Yo, and then I know what you would have done. Straight hell no.
Yeah, no.
Yo,
I wasn't. It got to the point where it just happens so often that you just think, what am I doing? Like, what am I willing to do to get my music done? What am I, to feel? And I just got to that point where, like, I'm not willing to sell my soul like that. I want to be able to sleep and look at myself in the mirror and be like, I worked hard for it. And I was just like, you know what? I can't do that. If people want me to sing on their tracks, I'm good. If people want me to come and, just write, I'll come do that. That's cool. If I can go and do a few gigs, then cool. I'll just go do a few gigs, and the right people will see it. The right people will see it. And so I just kept on grinding it out like that. But things happen in between. I had children, had a really toxic, abusive relationship. The window just got smaller and smaller, to the point where you just have to make a decision, and that's not where I wanted my life to go. That's not how I wanted my kids to be raised. And I just had to get out of there. And if it wasn't for Nixon, then who knows what would have happened.
Because I think, like, like in terms of that, it really comes down on how you're raised as a, because your mom and dad would have raised you up to be like, hell, like, put some respect on yourself, always hold yourself to a certain, to a standard. And, and that's really crazy to think that there's probably all those people that, that we know that are famous, it makes you think like, fuck, man, if Kaylee, the talented Kaylee, can get through in that shit and come to those roadblocks, I bet that there's other people out there that couldn't get past those roadblocks,
Please believe there's some dark times. Well, I was homeless over there at some stage. Me and my kids were posted up in a hotel because, baby daddy didn't want to get a job and he wanted to be a rapper and stuff. And, it's one of those things where, my parents raised me right, but I was also stuck in a really dark place where I'm a real loyal person, and I really had to struggle with being a failure and giving up something, and also recognizing what was wrong in this situation and how was I going to fix it. And it was one of those things like, my dad always said, you make your bed, you lie in it. You give everything 100%. You start something, you finish it. And in this instance, it was finish it or it was going to finish me in my life. So
wow, that's a really interesting way of putting it,
Yeah. And I wasn't willing to leave my children there, and I wasn't willing. That's not the plan. That's not the plan for my life, Nah. And I also had to decide, within myself, like, who am I? Music doesn't define who I am. I'm a pretty intelligent woman. I'm pretty talented. I've done lots of things in my life, and I've been able to do a lot of things in my life, and I've still got a lot to offer, and so I had to really humble myself and just be okay with, just be me. It's okay. I'm okay with just being me, and if I have to go home and back to New Zealand and not have a record contract and not have music videos and stuff, then that's okay. I'm alive. My kids are happy. We're breathing. We've got a roof over our head, and I think a lot of women who are in that situation, in those kind of relationships and in that cycle, round and round and round, that one instant it will finally click. And it took about 5 years for it to click for me.
I mean, yeah, it is like it's that pride, I suppose. I mean, from there, like, you know, like, hey, I came over here to fucking dominate. But you come over there and you hit these walls, and then you got to kind of take an L, but at the same time, it's so much to lose, man. Like, you know, like you've established this. You've had 2 beautiful kids, you know, and you've got so much on the line. It's like, yeah. And then, man,
but I think it's a massive thing for musicians, especially in New Zealand, because it's so hard to get to that pedestal. And when you're on that pedestal, the fall is so long. It's so hard. And the climb is even harder to get back out. And the minute you aren't the flavor of the month, you're almost gone from the whole entire situation. So you're like, man, do I keep grinding it out and try and hang on to that ledge, you know? And you just have to get to that point where you're just like, you know what? Who put me on that pedestal? No one did. You know, maybe your mom and your dad. Like, take yourself off the damn pedestal, make yourself level with everybody else, and, you know, just give the people what they want to hear. And if they want to hear music, give them music. Unfortunately, though, I work at a radio station, and ain't nobody going to play my music.
I don't know, Kelly.
It's that whole politics.
You've got some clout in there. You got some clout. You could slip something in there. You could say, hey, here's my new track, and get it in there. No.
Should I go by my government name then?
Yeah. No. Just change it up like I have. You could be Kaylee Provise. And we'll.
Or like Mariko.
Yeah.
Mariko used to call me Kaylee off the hazy.
Oh, man, that guy. So
I actually saw him in New Year's. He's doing well.
He is, man. I listened to some of his music, his new stuff, which I love.
Yeah.
His Pride Rock stuff is great. Yeah. I say that I probably say this every single podcast, and people get angry at me for saying this, but I used to go to school with him.
Oh yeah.
He went to school. He was in my class for like a month, and then he just didn't show up to school anymore. And then I had Raya, his brother, on my podcast, and I told him that story, and he goes, "Yeah, he would have been there in around February, right?" And March he was out, and I was like, "Yep, that's the one." He's like, "Yeah, that was 2000." And I was like, "Oh yeah, thank you. That was it. I was correct. People didn't believe me." Oh, but
no, that man's talented.
He is. There's so many talented people around, and but I mean, the time that you came up with Brother D and all those guys, what they were building, when that first, like, you would have gone over when all of the Scribe and P Money and Dirty Record stuff was happening, correct?
Yeah. So I did come back for a little bit, and so that's when I got to catch all of it. Scribe, P Money, and a lot of the boys just going hard with their solos. PNC, David Dallas and stuff coming out of Consci and stuff. So you know, it's really awesome to see that level of hip hop just lift, and just to see so many talented people just doing so many great stuff. I used to work a lot with Fast Crew and stuff as well, and Flow On Show, and Misfits of Science and things like that. So, you know, it was always awesome to see these guys do their grind and, you know, freestyle battle all the time when we were on tour and things like that. Just really lay it down. King Kapisi and Mariko, Devolo, you know, they're like, amazing spittles.
Do you ever? And I really don't like to play woulda, shoulda, coulda with you. But do you ever think, and you could tell me to shut up again, Caitlin, that if you stayed back here and didn't go to LA, you could have been that person on them hooks, man. There was this void that was filled by very talented people. Don't get me wrong. A Radner, you know, very talented, you know. But hey, man, you put Kaylee on a track. She's already got She's already got a backlog there. She's got a public name there. Put her on that track.
Well, I remember doing a hook for King Kapisi, and one of the guys from the record company at the time was just like, "Oh, do you mind if we just put your government name on there? Do you mind if we just put Kalina on there?" And I was like, "Well, why?" And it's, you know, it's just because Kaylee's pop music.
Oh, shut up, fucking Kinkapisi. Shut up, Kinkapisi.
It wasn't King Kapisi. It was it was someone on his label who had said that.
Hey, you
and,
tell.
and,
Hey.
And it was actually Bill King Kapisi who was like, nah, sis, we're putting Kaylee.
Okay.
Nah,
Never
fuck
mind.
That. No,
you do a very good Bill impression. That was a very good Bill impression.
Oh, I've got love for Bill and Teddy. They will always have my back. And the amount of times that I've brought music to them and they're like, sis, why aren't they playing this on the radio? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. So, yeah, it is what it is.
Well, whoever that person was, we're going to get down to it. I'm going to get King Pissy on the line right now, and we're going to talk to him.
I'm not even sure he remembers. I don't even remember the name of the song that we did together, but it was great.
Oh, man. Yeah, but you know what? I always kind of wondered that because, there was this big splash of Kaylee and everyone was like, wow, this is cool, man. This is great. And then there was a time where it was just nowhere to be seen. And why was that a you choice that you were like, fuck, I just need to get the fuck out of here, like this is too much for me? Or was that just like the industry going, no, actually we're going to go in a different direction?
It was a bit of both, actually.
Yeah?
It was a bit of both. Yeah. So I remember Universal Records. I remember when they dropped me and Money and stuff like that, and they were kind of just dissolving a lot of that. I think record companies were taking a massive hit, and they just didn't have the money to fund us anymore, to keep on pushing our music the way that, we wanted it to. And at the same time, I was experiencing the industry for what it was, whereas everyone was trying to put their finger in the pie and trying to go, hey, can we get 10K for this, can we get 20K for that, or to make a demo it's going to cost 40K. And I'm like, in what land? Yeah. Like what country? And nobody won lotto here.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it was one of those things. And it just, I went through a stage where I didn't trust anyone. I didn't trust anyone who was who was going, I'm here to help you. I'm here to, do this. And I just felt so vulnerable to everyone who was coming around.
Paranoid, man. You would be right.
Yeah. Like, yeah. It was a bit. And I'm like, who are you? And why do I need to work with you? Because, where were you when it started? And yeah, it was just a lot of questions. And when I'd ask questions, I got weird answers. So it left me with even more questions and more distrust.
Yeah, it's that bullshit meter, eh? Like,
yeah.
And when you're young, it takes, because you need life experience to kind of like calibrate your bullshit meter. And some people to this day, I know 50, 60-year-old people that still believe in that bullshit. But like,
I had to learn real fast. You had to learn real fast. Yeah. How to read contracts, legal contracts, and, people's wordings. They want to take your rights. They want to take your whole entire shit. It's, you got to be onto it. Yeah. They can just put in one little word in that contract, and once you sign it, it's binding.
That's it. And then, especially like just giving it to somebody to read. Like, even that, like, you just think, oh, yeah, it's all good. Yeah, I'll sign this. Da, da, da. But it's always the go-to, man. You pick it up, you go take it to somebody that knows what they're going on, no matter what kind of contract it is.
And then, you're an artist. You don't make a lot of money. And even now, New Zealand artists don't make a lot of money at all. And even with COVID, it's probably even less, and it's so much of a struggle. And, I commend every artist out there who has, gone, I'm going to quit my day job and I'm just going to invest all my time into music. It's a struggle. It's a hard slog.
Man, I couldn't even imagine doing that, eh? Like, especially when you got kids, man. When you got kids, it's like, you got to think other people. And it's funny, even on this, man, I got asked the other day, was this your full-time gig? I was like, man, I wish it was. Shit. If I could live off the money that I got from this, shit, man, I would be eating half a 2-minute noodles without the hot water either.
Yeah. Well, that's why I feel real blessed, because I get to go to a job every day, and music is my life. It's a love of mine. It's always been a way to connect people, help express my emotions and the way that people are feeling, and it can change a vibe like that.
Yeah,
so
true.
I get to go to work and every day is different. No day is the same. And I get bored real easy. So
Do you believe that this statement is true? Like when it comes to yourself or anybody really, that you either have to evolve, just like the dinosaurs, we either evolve or we die. You know, and that's what I think happened to you, right? You were like, "Yo, I wanted to be this singer, and shit went south, and da 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 da." But I had to evolve, or I was just gonna die. Like not literally, but my passion's gonna die. What keeps me driven's gonna die. What gets me up in the morning's gonna die. Is that what happened? Do you reckon with you?
yeah, I've never stopped singing. I've always sung, and I've traveled and just jammed with bands. You know, since I've come back, you know, done a few gigs over in Singapore and stuff, and I've even got a gig coming up in Sweatshop. Fingers crossed that it's still
Yo,
going to happen.
fuck,
You
it
know, we're
goes
just
down
going to
at the
jam.
Sweatshop, eh?
Oh
Sweatshop
yeah.
is no, but I mean like career
So
wise.
yeah, but you've got to evolve. You
Yeah.
have to evolve, and I think it hit me even more hard. You know, when I had my kids, and that was the big look. Something's got to change here. Something's got to give. Somebody's got to be responsible.
That's
So
true. Yeah.
yeah, and I put my hand up, and I'm going to be the responsible one.
And
So you got to evolve, yeah. Otherwise, you die.
yeah. And do you think that's happened with radio? Do you think that it's evolving?
Yeah, slowly but surely it is.
Yeah.
It is. And we're still the main connection. Yeah, we have great connection with people at home and things. And I think the more that we keep an open mind to what's happening around the world and how technology is evolving, then yeah, I think radio is evolving.
Yeah,
It's just, I mean, we've got a lot of things in terms that we would love to do. Don't get me wrong. But when you work for a massive corporation who has so many other radio stations, you know, underneath them, it's going to take a little bit of convincing to go, hey, no, this is the right route.
yeah.
You know? So yeah.
Because I had this conversation with somebody around TV because TV, the evolution of social media and the evolution of, you know, like YouTube and Instagram and things like that compared to the viewership on TV. It's quite an interesting conversation to have. And it's exactly the same with radio. I mean, with Spotify and Google Music and Apple Music and everything that you have, there is this kind of like underlining, like, whoa, man, like I hope radio can kind of catch up, if you know what I mean. But is that ever like in the back of it? Because I mean, you're pretty deep in the radio game there, Kaylee. Do you ever think are you in conversations or you're in meetings and you're like, fuck, actually, this could eat us up if we don't get our shit together?
Yes and no. Like we have these discussions all the time, and we're always as a collective, as a group, and the people who, like, I can't speak for other stations. I can only speak for ours at my FM, and I know we are constantly having conversations about, you know, the new technologies, and I have to say that majority of us are really, really onto it, and we're always looking for ways to evolve as people, as a station, as our connection with our listeners and everything all the time. And we're always in these conversations. And if we don't know something, then we're like, all right, we need to find out who knows it and how we can do this. And we're constantly looking for ways to evolve and get bigger and better. You know, because it's that same rule of thumb. There's always going to be somebody who's going to come and they're working just as hard to be better than you. You know, so you've got to evolve with the times. You've got to evolve with the people. You've got to evolve with the trend. You've got to evolve with how people's, you know, habits are moving at the moment. And it's so instantaneous these days. That's why music has been coming out so fast, because people are over a song once they've heard it on TikTok for a week.
It's true. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That is true.
So they're done it. They don't want to hear it on radio. So we've got to, you know, keep up with the play. We've got to keep going. Some songs, you know, they're actually doing well and they still stand the test and they still research, you know, a couple of months down the track. But, you know, we've got to move with the times.
Yeah.
So,
like your early days at radio? Was it like that? Like it would take a while to kind of get onto somebody or to, oh, that song's hot now, or is compared to now when you're just like, it's on socials?
Oh, no. Yes. I remember, what was the song? Oh, Cassie, Me and You.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I first heard that track And I was like, man, this chick is dope. Like this is going to be a badass song. And I was bumping it in the studio.
Oh.
And I was like, Manchu, get in here. And Manchu was my DJ at the time. And he was working at Flavor at the time. And I was like, oi, we got to add the song. And he was like, all right. He's like, this is a banger, man. And I was like, no, we've got to add it. Like, can you add it tonight? Can you add it onto my show? I'm gonna do it for Battle of the Beats. I'm gonna do it. And he was like, all right, let's do it. And so I put it on, and all of a sudden the song just started tracking, and people were, servicing it. The record companies were servicing it to the rest of the stations, and I was like, yeah, I discovered that track, And it was the bonus of having social media and just having that love for music, because you knew where to look.
Yeah.
Whereas now there's so many places to look.
Yeah.
There's so many places to make sure that I don't even know how people have time to eat, let alone shower, wash their ass, because there's so many places to look these days.
No. Funny story about Cassie, Kaylee. One weekend I asked her out. She was at JJ. She worked at JJ's in West City, and I asked her out. Man, she said no. It's fuck. Didn't even want to go off her anyway. It was all good.
Yeah,
that was a dope video clip too. She had the Jordans on. She was doing the dancing. She was young too, man. Young. Hey, there's little parallels there. She was a young up and comer.
No, she was awesome. I think her modeling career helped her a little bit, but she also was massive in that drum and bass and dance area.
Yeah.
So she had a lot of songs, and working with Ryan Leslie.
Yeah.
Come on. Like, he had a lot of connections.
Oh, that dude went off on Bebo, Ryan Leslie. Ryan Leslie was the Bebo king. His tracks were on everybody's wall.
Oh man, Bebo.
Jeez,
haven't heard that for a while.
Let's get it. Hey, let's crack open the. What was you have your top 5? Who was your top 5 on Bebo? You had your top 5. Did you used to go on and
Nah. I didn't ever go on. I didn't ever go on Bebo. I remember my girlfriend made me one.
Yeah.
And then we forgot the password, and I never went back in it.
Oh man, because I think I followed you on Bebo, and it was somebody that told me to meet up at West City at JJ's. And I was like, damn, man, maybe this is Kaylee. Nah.
Oh, man. You are too funny.
Man, shout outs to West City, by the way. Man, Bebo was the jam. And then, but man, I had the best collection, man, of music straight off of Napster and LimeWire. I was the king, man. I had that.
Oh, LimeWire used to take so damn long. And then if my mum got a phone call, man, my mum can talk. I was like, Mum, get off the phone already. I'm trying to get the latest Brownstone song. I'm trying to get the latest Mariah Carey remix.
These kids, man, do not understand what they have.
I know.
I still bug you when I'm like, I'll download like a video or something, and it's a full movie. Legally though, never illegally. I do it all legal. Okay, sure. On Bebo. And then but like it takes a couple of minutes, and I remember trying to downloading some movies, all of age, nothing too explicit.
When you have to say that, it was wrong.
Hey, shout outs to Tommy Lee and Pamela. Shout outs to old Auntie Pam. But those were the days, man. Those were the days. And so anyway, back to music. Back to you started radio. Nixon kind of like gave you the old hook or not? I don't want to say hookups, but saw something and said, "Hey, would you like to give it a try?" Is that how it works?
Well, no, so I went to play touch one day, and this is coming out of the whole depression, eating Tim Tams and stuff, and I was like, right, I was going to get back into playing sports. I had to, really search and dig deep and just go, what are the things that I love to do? And it was always sports, So I was like, right, go to Vic Park, play touch, played with James Daniels, Stacey Morrison's father, and he was like, well, we're starting up this new station and we're looking for people. And I was like, oh, you got a job? And he's like, for real? You want to come and work at radio? And I was like, I just want to do something different. I want to try something different. Like, I'll work on the street. It's all good. Whatever it is, I'll clean the office. And he was like, right, come on Monday. So I went in there and I was on the street team driving in the Hummer. And the first ever crossover I did it was so embarrassing. I crack up laughing about it now. I talk so fast that no one turned up.
Oh no. Yeah, the man are going more like that was once.
Burger King, Liquor Road, and if you want to get the hookup with vouchers, you got to come down. It's just like, that's the flavour, hubba. Yo.
Oh, pulling the old twister, 16 bars on the.
I was so nervous, and I just laughed, and no one turned up, and it just so happened that some poor, man was getting a little lunch break, and I was like, here you go, have the voucher, thank you. Got a picture and just left. And so I ended up going back, and he was just like, look, I love your voice and everything. Do you think that maybe you could, try nights? And I was like, oh, okay, you're looking for someone for nights? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, cool. And he's like, do you know how to work the board? And I was like, yeah, all good. And he goes, oh, cool, can you start tonight? And I was like, yeah, sure, all good, no problem. I ran straight in there because I knew Nixon from high school. He used to come and, we used to always go to, each other's surrounding schools, Fairfield nights and talent quests and, go check out what everyone's talking about, this person's talent. Oh. And I had actually met him at a talent quest at high school. So I've known Nixon back from high school.
Oh.
When he was at Rutherford and I was at Waitec. So, yeah, and I ran in and I got a pen and paper and I was like, oi, I'm going to get a shot at the nights. Tell me everything. Tell me everything you know right now. What button not to push? And so I drew it out, drew diagrams. I wrote all these little notes. Do not touch this button. You will turn off the station.
Oh, wow.
And I had the highest rating night show.
Of course you
for
did.
A good couple of years. Yeah.
Of course you did, Ken.
But I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what that meant. So
you were just doing your thing.
I just went in there and I just had fun and talked about the things that me and my friends would talk about, things that, we'd love to talk about. I love music, so let's talk about music, that kind of thing. So, yeah. And then when I was in LA, after a certain situation happened and I, had a realization that, had to get my life together and save me and my children's lives. It just so happened that about a week after I had left, my partner at the time, I got a Facebook message from Nixon and he's like, oi, when are you coming home? And I was like, man, I'm trying to get home right now. And he's like, man, you want to do breakfast? He's like, you and I have always talked about doing a show together. He's like, I think it'd be cool. Let's do breakfast. And I was like, breakfast for who? Flavor? And he's like, no, I'm at My FM now. And I was like, yo, let's do this. I was like, man, let me get my tickets together. Let me get the passports together and let's do it.
Shout out to Nixon.
Yeah. And then he came over. We did a show at Melrose. We talked to Tupac's brother.
Yo.
It was the most shittiest interview ever. All he wanted to do was talk about his own music, and all we wanted to do was talk about Tupac. Oh man. But and we went to Big Boy Power 106 station and we got to see all their stuff and that, and and then me and my kids came home and the rest is history, man. We just living life, and I'm really grateful and thankful.
All right, Kaylee, we're gonna do a bit of a poll. I got ice cream or ice block flavors. What's your go-to? I got jelly tip. What's your go-to?
Oh, choc bar.
Oh yeah, you can't go wrong with the choc bar.
I love choc bars. Yeah.
We got Magnums. You're a fan of the Magnums?
Yep. And the Carpety ones if I've got extra change.
Carpety. If you got some change in the ashtray, you'll get that one.
Yeah.
All right.
Can't go wrong with the fruit juice.
Oh man, I got no room for the fruit juice.
Oh.
Anyway, put it in the chat if you. Let's see what it is. I'm guessing jelly tips are my one. Out of those four, I got the jelly tips, and yours on the choc bar. You reckon?
Yeah, I'm on the choc bar.
Let's see what happens.
Choc bar. Always. And I always eat all the outside and I save the middle to the end. You got to do that. You're just not eating it right.
Hey, I got a word for you. You remember Paradisos?
Oh.
Yo.
I used to love those.
I know, man. They were the best, right? And they took them away.
Yeah, they weren't selling that great.
Pull some strings, Kaylee. I know you've got them. You've got some. I know you do. You got those tip-top strings.
We gotta bring those Paradisos back.
Yo, because I know that you never come past the tip top corner, so you must have. I'll go to when you come out south. Okay.
Oh man, Never ever before I met my fiance now had I ever gone past the Tip Top building and ventured into South Auckland. The only time I go there was to go play netball.
And then it's straight back into the van, straight back.
Yeah, but straight back to West Auckland.
Oh man. So anyway, so like you've done it. Like it's pretty cool to see your because you were on the morning crew with yourself, Nixon, and who else?
Wairangi?
Yeah, he was cool, man.
Wairangi Kopu? Yeah, he's awesome.
And
Talented
even,
man.
Oh man, even now, like I see him on Māori television and things like that, and he's still like super cool. Like his voice is very unique. Like there's no one like it.
So we're all that screaming on the league field.
Oh man, and then you moved over to after the midday shows, or
yeah, today's when I was doing breakfast I was already doing 5 in the morning to 6 to 12, and so I would do that 6 to 12 shift every day.
Oh, and what do you prefer? Like you've done nights, you've done everything pretty much. What's your do you prefer the days, or what do you reckon?
Oh, personally, I think I would love to jump back into like a breakfast or drive show.
Yeah.
I would love to do that again. Yeah. Just a lot more exciting, and things are different, and you got to work with different people's personalities. Listenership is totally different. You have a different audience that listen in. I love the day show. I love being by myself and being able to control everything and just to be able to bounce off the listeners. So my co-host are the listeners. So when they call up and they give me shit, I give them shit back.
Oh.
But my listeners are really dope. Like they're really cool. They know that they could just call up and be like, Kay, stop talking shit. Just play the music. I'm like, oh, sorry. But I love being able to do the mixes with 09 and stuff, and we have a good vibe. We have, real good fun. So yeah, I love doing days. But yeah, I think after being in days for so long, I think the next challenge would be to go into another drive show or a breakfast show, a tandem show again.
But I mean, you come across like a very loyal person. Like to
Thanks.
me, like, and I think like my would be it for you. If if somebody else said, "Hey, would you like to come on?" You'd be like, "Yeah, nah. I've grown here. These people have brought me up when Nixon and everything. I mean, I'm only that's what I reckon."
Oh man, look, there is going to be a time where I am way too old to be going, this shit is lit, this shit is dope, this jam,
Never.
This is my jam. There's going to be a time where I'm a bit too old to be doing that, and when that time comes, then I will have to take that lit and dope music and I will have to move on.
You'll be on coast.
It's like no, maybe breeze, maybe the breeze, the old school R&B breeze.
What's happening though?
But my like I said, everyone's journey is different, and I just love the fact that I'm able to speak more Māori and be able to make Māori sound so much more normalized and just so normal. Like just even if it's just the little things like pronouncing, tamaki makaurau or tautahi or te whanganui atara, and just shouting out to all those crews, all those people out there, and being able to add that te reo Māori in every day, because that's the reason why the station was made. That's the reason why Ngā Te Whātua had put the station together to lift that with our rangatahi and to just normalize it, because it should be.
Because, man, you would have been around when My FM first started, right?
Yeah, I just moved to Auckland, and One Sweet Day was the very first song that I heard on My FM. I remember Brown Guy in the Sky,
Yo,
Robert Akete.
Is it what was her name? Jane? No.
V-Shane.
V-Shane. Oh my life. And it's Hot 7 at 7. Yo, that was me, man.
Crush.
I used to have my tape player ready to record, man.
Me too.
Yo.
That's how I used to record myself singing. And I used to, have a record, a tape on one side, another tape, dub the song, and then have the mic, or the microphone pushed in, and I'd, dub it back over with the tape playing in the background. And oh my gosh, it was a bit complicated, but
but hey, man, I made it. Look at you now. Okay, look at you now. Shit, you got all them flash microphones.
Oh man. No, it's good. Hey, look, I'm just going to plug my phone in.
Okay, cool.
It's gonna die.
So, because you went off, because how did the boxing thing happen too? Man, that was dope.
Oh, thanks. How did that happen? So I was actually a fill-in. I think at the time, if I'm right, hold it 1 second. At the time, Millie Aldo was supposed to be fighting,
that's
and
right.
she pulled out,
that.
and I had 5 weeks to get ready for boxing match, and I was like, "Yo, just let's do it, do it." And so, Duco was like, "Okay, cool, let's do it. Let's put you in." And I said, "I'll only do it if I have Monty, because Monty is the man. Monty is the man." So, yeah, it was a great moment for me. It was a great healing time for me. It was really awesome, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed getting in there and sparring and stuff. And Monty was always telling me, "We're going to put you in against these guys and stuff. You're going to spar and everything. It's okay. They're not going to hit you the hardest, but you're going to be all like padded up and everything. You'll be sweet. You can hang." And I was just like, "Oh, okay." But man, he was hard. And there was a couple of times tears came out. I cried. I was like, "Damn, this is really hard. This is next level type of fitness." So big credit to boxers out there, because that's a whole nother level of fitness.
I know, man. And just the getting punched in the face, like there's a stamina thing that you have, when you get making it normalized and getting punched in the face and being like, "Oh, okay, keep going," as opposed to,
I had already been punched in the face a few times, so
well,
so it was all good. I could take one.
Speaking of punches in the face, this whole chat has punched me in the face.
Oh,
Choc
okay.
bar, 61% reckons the choc bar.
I'm telling you,
Mate.
Everyone's secret lover. Everyone loves a good choc bar.
All right, let's. Oh man, hey, and anyway, like about the fights, I reckon we should bring it back, man.
You reckon you should what?
I reckon we should. You need to have another fight, and I've got the perfect opponent for you.
Oh, you reckon I should have another fight? Who's that?
Randy. I reckon you'll smash him. Randy, I'm calling you out, bunk. I'm going to be your hype man, Kaylee. Randy, you ain't nothing, punk. Kaylee will kick your ass.
Randy is too much of a gentleman. He is far too much of a gentleman, that one.
He'll knock that dumb fucking Fisher hat, that dumb bucket hat off your head, boy. Shit. Oh. No, he's the man. Hey, and then just I know that we'll start getting through them, but Dancing with the Stars was another one. Did you notice anything between the preparation for boxing and the preparation for Dancing with the Stars?
Just that same as boxing, don't want to look like an idiot.
There was no part when you look like an idiot. You look great.
I have to say that it was a challenge, because I was 12 weeks, 13 weeks post C-section on my 4th child, and that was the first C-section that I'd ever had, and I'm super lucky that my partner was able to hold it down, and he had taken time off to be home with my baby, so he was like, "I'm going to stay at home, you can go back to work," and I was like, "Sweet, okay, I've done it with the others, so you can take this one, tag, you're it." So, but I was just fortunate that I had such a really skilled partner. Scott Cole was amazing, and he already knew, all right, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to make it work. I mean, unfortunately, I wasn't the lightest or skinniest girl there or anything like that. So, a lot of the throws and tricks and stuff. But the more and more that I did it, the more it brought back that whole love of dancing again. Because I used to do rock and roll when I was like a little girl. Yeah, I used to dance rock and roll and that back in the days when I was like, I think I was like 9 or 10.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, let's get through to some of these questions. Puma Pants says, it should pop up. There we go. What is 1 + 1 + 1?
Well, obviously it's 3, but it ain't 2.
Next one is this is from Fiasco, our resident queen of the stream. She is actually she's having her first baby, which is great.
Congratulations!
Go. Her one was your dream duet partner.
Are we talking about Kiwi artists or international artists?
Let's go both. Let's go one of each.
Okay, it might be a bit old school for everyone, but I'd love to do a duet with either Chongni or Addie's.
Yo. And what about internationally?
Yeah. Internationally, I would love to sing with Jamie Foxx.
Cool. You met him, right? You just said before?
Yeah, at the Congo Room. Very brief,
Yeah.
but I was just, I was amazed. They just had this open mic night and it was just great. It was just unbelievable artists. And he had a couple of artists that he was actually working with that were playing.
Oh, this is... Yeah. Here's from Just for Kicks. He says, story behind Broken Wings being your first single release.
So Broken Wings was actually a part of the demo that we had done. So when I met Maddie J, it was actually I auditioned to be in a group. The group was going to be called Chapter 4, I think I remember, if I'm correct. The guy, Keith is awesome. He used to own Loaded. I think it was Loaded down there on High Street.
Yep, that's Loaded.
Awesome guy, and he wanted to be a singer and do a group, and so Broken Wings is actually on that demo. Maddie J came up with that whole idea and stuff, and when we went to go recreate it as one of the singles, because the record company came back and said we want that as the single on the demo, we had gone for a walk and stuff, and I remember he had gone past this hotel and there was this guy playing now I can't remember what it's called, but this certain type of Chinese piano. And that's what the ding 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 ding. Yeah. And he just has this innate way of just hearing any kind of little sound and he can make a song out of it. So that was Maddie J's baby right there, and he had so much fun with it. And another part of that song was just the fact that Mr. had done it, and it was such a massive hit, and everyone was doing remixes at the time, recreating old songs, and no one would have thought to recreate that. And Mr. actually said, because you have to ask permission, you can't just release a song. And they were just like, for sure, we love it. We love the way that you changed it up. We could,
So I'm pretty sure there's a Tupac song that's sampled that, right?
Yes, there is a bit of a sample on there from Tupac.
And it came out like the same time. Like, and I was like, oh,
ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things are get brighter. Yeah.
All right. This is another one from Fiasco. This is more of a mum question. She asked, since you're an expert mum, how do you get this baby's fat head off my ribs at the moment?
Oh, girlfriend, on your ribs, you better be doing handstands, or you better stick the peas on there, and stick it where the head is, and you'll see it'll move. Lots of yoga.
Here's one for the Mighty Unga. He says, all-time my lineup from breakfast to night. Who are you going with?
Oh, the one we got now.
Yo, see, you got
the lineup we got now.
Robert Ruckety, get out of here. Okay, well, the one we've got now. The one we've got now is the one that we need.
Yeah, well, back in the days is great, but if you put back in the days on now, they're not going to hold up. Times are different, times have changed, we evolved, and the one we got now, like, we've got some talented ass people that work there.
Yeah, I've got this question, and I knew this was going to come up, Kaylee. Kaylee, can you feel me, Kaylee?
No, I can feel you.
There we go. We've already answered that question. Next one. This is from Jandals83. He says, can you write a book about your life experiences? Do you ever think you would write a book? I'd buy that, man.
I think I'd need a ghostwriter, because so many things just come out, and I probably lose track of where I'm at in my life. But no, I'd like to actually write it down, just so I can have it there. My quarter always said, live life so you can got some great stories to tell your morcals.
It's true, and that's so true. This one is from Fid McAwesome, my good friend. He says, do you ever get requests for Can You Feel Me?
All the time. Yeah. But can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Only Broken Wings and Tables Have Turned, which is another song that I did when I came back from America. They're the only two songs that are in the category and in our actual playlist.
Come on.
At MediaWorks. Can You Feel Me and 1+1 aren't in there.
Those are the two bangers, though.
Was it DJ09 played it when we did a Kiwi mix just this week on Monday? Yeah. So yeah.
Did he give you the point? And he was like,
yeah, and I ended up singing.
Oh yeah,
I sung it on the radio. Why not?
Let's go. Here we go. This is a long question from Just for Kicks. He says, "Do you think that music is a powerful neurological weapon, as each song we listen to is also attached to a memory of what happened in your life, whether it's good or bad?"
Yeah, yeah. Music has, in a more Joe Blogg's way of deciphering what you just put there, which was really, really well articulated. Music has an innate way to connect people emotionally, physically, and change everyone's mood. Hence the reason why if you play just a whole bunch of NWA, people will be really amped up and angry and quite aggressive. Not really angry, but quite aggressive, and they'll be pumped. It has a way of just connecting in certain ways that, reading a book and talking face to face can't really do. Can bring up a lot of emotions, a lot of memories. So yeah.
It's also shout out to Just for Kicks for writing the freaking Da Vinci Code in the chat. That was Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone in the chat. Thank you, mate. Next one is Elastic Man. He says your favorite '90s R&B jam. I know there's probably heaps of them, but what's your favorite go-to that you're like, yo, this isn't what I'm getting on my Spotify right now?
Oh. Tell Me by Groove Theory.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There's just something about that song I love.
Man, I've heard.
Gotta go back to Boyz II Men and Casey and JoJo too. I love those songs. I bump those all the time as well.
Jodeci is my jam. Like before they were Casey and JoJo, they used to be my, the one I used to put on Hot Gossip. I used to get on the Hot Gossip and I used to be like, hey ladies. And then in the background was some Jodeci and I'd be like, yo.
Oh no, you put that creepy 0800 voice on.
The funniest thing is when I said Hot Gossip, I looked at your face, Kaylee, and you knew exactly what I was talking about. That means you were the one that hooked me back and told me to meet me at West City. I knew that was you, Kaylee, and I told my boys.
I think every 11 and 12-year-old used to ring up and just prank that place, honestly. They must have the worst revenue.
Is it so bad that I still remember the phone number?
Yes, it is bad that you still remember the phone number. How do you remember this shit?
I don't know. I can't even remember birthdays and stuff like that, but I remember 3733456 in the bloody Do you remember, Kelly? And I'm bringing it back. There used to be a music line that you could ring up and listen to, like they would try and selling you CDs. Did you ever get down with that?
No. So I don't know that one.
Man, you would ring up it was like a place that was trying to sell CDs, right? Because we didn't have shit like that, right? So you'd ring them up and you'd like 5 for R&B, 6 for da-da-da, and it will play you it was like.
Will it play you the little snippets?
Yeah.
So that I'm pretty sure that was their way of doing music research.
Oh really, man? I used to ring that up every day.
Because now it's called Music Lab online at myfm.co.nz if you really want to change the playlist.
So it's myfm.
Yeah, so now if you want to change the playlist, myfm.co.nz, do the Music Lab test and you'll hear a little snippet of the songs, new and old. You just tell us whether or not you want it or get it in the bin. You never know, you might win some cash money. Or you can even just vote for the My Hot 1200.
It's like you've never left work. It's like you're here. No. You're on right now. Sheesh.
Oh, man, you got to be on all the time.
Oh, man.
Be always on your A game.
Can you tell us one of your guilty pleasure songs? One song that you won't tell your mates you listen to? Get down with some alien weaponry. Have you ever heard those fellas?
Oh, I actually judged them at Pacifica.
That shit is fucking crazy good, eh?
I remember when I first heard them and they were little, tiny little boys, and their dad drove them in, and they were just the most cutest little boys. They looked, their hair was brushed and everything, and it wasn't too long then. It was still short. They were still finding themselves, and when they started, I was just like, what the fuck is that voice
Fuck.
coming out of there? I was like, is that voice coming out of those little bodies?
Yo.
And ever since then, I've just been so proud to see them just go and do their thing, and they still stay true to themselves, which is really great. And every year they would go back into RockQuest and Smoke Free Pacifica Beats, and I would judge them, and I would, and a few times I'd be like, yo, like, you got to come with new music, man. You got to come with new music. You can't keep coming back with the same stuff. But no, they're just awesome. There's not actually any songs that I am ashamed to say that I listen to, because I appreciate a lot of different music, whether it's opera, Hayley Westenra and Solar Bill and stuff, Michael Bublé, Sade, to Carrie Underwood, Faith Hill, I listen to it all.
Yeah. Here's a question from Jandals again. And I think this is the one he wants me to ask. When is the YTech reunion happening?
Oh, I have no idea. I turned up at the 40th YTech reunion. Yeah, and I got to host it. And I made sure that I told the principal, you remember when you wrote on my, report and you said, she talks too much. She asks far too many questions.
Oh, look
at me. I got the mic.
Look at me now, fool.
My name is up in the actual school hall.
It is?
With Luppy Mariner and Tawila Blakely. Because we all went there, And they spelled my name wrong.
Oh, what? How could they spell your name wrong?
I know. But it's not just up there for music, and it's up there for sports and academics as well. So
that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Do a bit of everything. Yeah.
And I'll hit you with this last question from Fiasco. She says, what flavor of Tim Tams is your favorite, since we talked about that?
Oh, caramel Tim Tams. You got to put them in the fridge, all right? And then you got to do the Tim Tam slam.
You have to. It's just the way it is.
You have to, especially when the caramel is nice and cold. You got to get that coffee, no sugar in the coffee, nice and hot, bite each end, suck the coffee up in there, and then shove the whole Tim Tam in your mouth.
Yeah. Where's your favorite bakery, Kaylee? This is a serious question.
At the moment, it is in Pakuranga.
Oh, we got them. Okay, we got some east side stuff going on.
But I always used to go to Sturgis Road Bakery.
Sturgis Road.
Yeah, in Henderson.
Oh, yep. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I run a series called the Bakery Run, and we go around to different bakeries.
I did see you went to New Lynn.
We did go to New Lynn. That was very, very, very good. I was testing this because we went out to Kelston next episode, and man, this is it's a good bakery out in Kelston.
I don't know about Kelston. I remember back in the days, someone accused a bakery of having cats in there, and people.
Get over it. That's everyone out in South.
A few of my undies got stolen when I used to live in Kelston, so I used to stay clear of all the bakeries, all the countdowns and packets out those ways.
That's a classic line, eh? A couple of my undies got stolen. Yeah. Sure.
No, actual off my line. They jumped the fence and stole them. I had to move out of that complex. Okay.
Well, was this like when you were a kid or when you were older?
No, this is so I moved out of home when I was like 16, and I moved into some apartment complex right across the road from, Kelston, is it Countdown that's right there where the McDonald's is? Yep. So I down that roundabout, I used to live down there. And one day I had, was getting ready to go on tour, and I'm like, okay, put everything out there, wash all my good undies, wash all my good bras, my good clothes. Yep, they'll be dry. I went to go do something, came back, and I was like, what the hell? All my washing was on the ground.
Shit.
I was like, where are my favorite pair of undies?
Man, shout out to the undie. This wasn't your stalker, is it? Because I heard you have a person that your secret admirer that sends you stuff all the time.
Not so much anymore because we've moved buildings.
Okay, but there was a person, right?
There is. Yeah,
that's scary, man.
That's a couple.
Scary shit, man.
There was a couple. One of them definitely needed help. More. Yeah, it wasn't well at all. But he's cool. He now understands, and he won't be sending me stuff anymore.
Okay.
But I think the other guy got out of prison. I think he's got a wife now or something like that, and so he was sending me stuff from prison.
Man, yo, see, And these are all these people on Bebo and things like that. That you know, nah.
Those ones that used to come and trying to ask me out at JJ's.
I know, man. You know, apparently somebody told me that in my school that somebody did that.
Yeah.
Kaylee, I just want to say a massive thank you for your time. Thank you to everybody. Very happy to have you here, and it's been an awesome korero. Thank you so much, eh?
No, ngā mihi. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you to all the questions that have come through and stuff. And you know, I've really enjoyed it. It's been a while since I've been the person that's interviewed.
Oh, choice. All right, and yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. But by all means, we'd love to have you back on if you ever want to come back on.
For sure.
I would love to get you back on. We'll talk about some hood stuff.
Oh, all right.
Because by far you have taken the crown. You have the straight up the hood award. You've got that Easy E award right now. Sheesh.
Well, yeah. Yeah, there's been some moments. There's been some people, you know, and cross paths for a reason. So got to make those good stories to tell my mokos.
Yeah, that's so true. And now look, you've told all of us, and now we're going to be like, man, Kaylee's a straight up G.
No, we try not to let that one come out.
All right, we'll hang around and we'll debrief afterwards. But thank you so much, eh?
Thank you very much.